Let's talk about whether or not a patient has ever been violent to me. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I've been counseling men and women who have been victims of and or perpetrators of abuse and or violent crimes. And this commenter is asking me, has a patient ever been violent to you? If so, how did that affect you? Short answer is no. And so, no, that's not ever something I've ever had to deal with, because one, I'm cognizant of where I am and who I am working with at all times. And not only that, I'm quick to let people know, like, you need to back up, or I have no problem with writing people up or, disciplining people on things like that. So that's the short answer. I have had people, the most I've had is people that have been verbally disrespectful. And again, when they do that, they are quick to find out, I don't like that either. And so again, would people have worked with me, they know, like, if I look at them, that means no. That they know if, like, we're not doing that, I'll say something like that. We're not doing that, or I'll just say no. No, just like that. I won't even say anything else. They know to sit back down and to cool it, and take it down a few degrees. And that's that on that. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. If you are professional, if you are respectful, if you are aware of safety, if you check men when they get out of line, in that type of if you're able to check people when they get out of pocket, um, then that usually works. I will say the only time that things are ever in jeopardy is, I look at prison. I look at prison as like parenting. So whenever you're parenting children, both of you, mother and father, or parents, I'll say that. So if it's not mother and father, whoever parents or caregivers are, you need to be on the same page when you're parenting and or disciplining your children. Otherwise, your children, no matter, how good of kids they are, they're going to find the weakest link and they're going to push against that to manipulate to their advantage. And the same thing can be said for, inmates and things like that. So if there's not a lot of staff cohesiveness, or there's not cohesiveness between you and your supervisor or you and another colleague, they're going to test that link to see what they can get away with, right? And there's a couple of things. So one, I feel like I have a good enough rapport that I had enough respect, right? Because I was there a lot, right? So I had a lot of respect, among the inmates and among a lot of the staff too. Not all of them, but a lot of them. But the only thing I ever got was like verbal stuff. And that's usually when, they saw like a supervisor or someone else being disrespectful, then they thought that they could do it too. But people are, I check people quickly is what I'm trying to say. So I think that's, I nip that behavior in the bud right away. And usually after that, we don't have no problems. So hope that helps. Thanks for asking.